AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, and Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes. Todd Walker in 2 hours. We got a ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Saturday was not a great day for the LSU offense. They scrimmaged inside of Tiger Stadium. You heard me and Hunt and quite literally everybody who was allowed to watch that scrimmage say the same thing. Really bad day for the offense. Tigers were back on the practice field today, after which Lane Kiffin met with reporters, and he agreed with all of our assessment that Saturday was not great for the offense.
That was discouraging in the moment Saturday. Offensively, the way that we played, the lack of explosive plays, the lack of plays made in competitive situations, so that's discouraging, not where I would expect to be, but.
So, not just us. Lane Kiffin using the word discouraging after Saturday's scrimmage. It was bad. I mean, they threw 5 interceptions. They missed a field goal. They lost a fumble. It was bad. On Tuesday, Lane Kiffin invited the media. He's open practice for the remainder of spring, at least for now. We'll see if that holds for the final practice. I hope so. The offense punched back is a good way to say it. And boy, it did not start that way. So if you've caught any of our reports, the way that they open practice when we go in is they come outside and they run what they call their quick 6. It's 6 plays. They go very quick. I know it's called the quick 6 because Jakeem Jackson sat in the studio and told us that's what it's called. They run 6 plays very quickly. They did not get to 6 plays today. They ran 3. Ones on ones. Here's how it went. Wide receiver screen to Winnie Watkins, dropped. Wide receiver screen to Winnie Watkins, tackle for loss. Husan Longstreet pressured, rolls right, heaves a ball off balance to absolutely no one in a white jersey, and it's intercepted by Ty Benefield. They blow the horn and go to individual drills. They're like, enough of this. Get off the field. You just get on it. Get off of this field right now. It's bad. But after that, man, the offense kind of found its groove today. They went to individual periods, and it was a lot of what you saw. There's tackling dummies. Hunt and Marler watched some one-on-one receiver DB drills. They watched some offensive line, defensive line drills. That's all charted at LouisianaSports.net if you want to go see how all that went. Then they went to a group period called Inside Run. Now, if you're an LSU football fan, this should be terrifying because effectively what this was handing off the ball between the tackles. It was, hey, 11 on 11, we're running the ball between the inside run, and the defense knows we're about to do it. And they actually did really well. Interestingly, Dylan Jones, the Wisconsin transfer, took the first reps. Then Caden Durham, then Harlem Berry. Those were the 3 that took the reps with the ones on the inside run period. On the first snap, Dylan Jones took a handoff, spin move, touchdown. Awesome. Caden Durham had a short gain. Harlan Berry had a short gain, backside tackle by Tamarcus Cooley, which is a really good play there. And then Dylan Jones got a second rep, hit the middle, bounced it to the right, raced to the pylon, touchdown. 13's going to play. He's going to. I'm not telling you, like, discard Berry or Durham. Harlan Berry had a 40-yard touchdown run in a short yardage situation. They did short yardage goal line in the next period. So it was 11 on 11. And they ran, this was the sequence. They went third from about midfield. They went 3rd and 2, then 4th and 1. And then they went down to the goal line and ran 1st and goal from the 5, 2nd and goal from the 2, 3rd and goal from the 1. They ran 5 plays. Harlan Berry busted a 40-yard touchdown run, like where it was he just accelerated, split 2 defenders and scored. He's got explosive ability. What I'm telling you is Dylan Jones has a different skill set. He's bigger. He's physical. He just fit physically. Now, he can't do what Harlan Berry does. I just told you that 40-yard run breakaway where he sprinted, split 2 defenders and scored. But he's got a different skill set that they're going to use. So they go to that short yardage goal line situation. By the way, Landon Clark and Husan Longstreet were kind of interchangeable with quarterbacks today. In that short yardage goal line situation, the first down. So, again, it's like 3rd and 2 from midfield. They're running a short yardage, 3rd and 2. They run play action. And Jackson Harris beats P.J. Woodland down the left hash, and Landon Clark sails it. They pull Landon Clark, put Husan Longstreet in. 4th and 1. This will make you feel good, LSU football fans who watch LSU struggle to run the ball. 4th and 1. They hand the ball to Dylan Jones, 2 yards between the tackles. Put your head down and go get 2 yards. Okay. Like to see it. After that short yardage goal line situation, let's see. Landon Clark did throw a long touchdown pass to Jackson Harris. No, forgive me. That was the overthrow. My apologies. That was the overthrow in the short yardage period. Then they went to 7-on-7s. And this was a day, the first time we got to see 7-on-7s in spring. The 1s ran 6 plays, the 2s ran 6 plays, the 1s ran 6 plays, the 2s ran 6 plays. Husan Longstreet got the first reps with the 1s. He went 3 for 5. The first play, deep ball, right side to Jace Brown over DJ Pickett. That was a pretty good start. I like to see that. Because I don't worry about DJ Pickett. He's awesome and he's going to be awesome. I like to see guys making plays. Eugene Wilson, Trey Wilson from Florida, had 3 catches in this period, including a beautiful out route where he beat Aiden Hall to the sideline for a 20-yard gain. That throw was by Landon Clark. Really nice play. Landon Clark with the 2s in that first possession was 4 out of 6. There were 2 coverage busts in that period by the defense. The 1s went back out there. Longstreet was 5 for 6. He hit Roman Mothershed on a slant, who then just booked it to the pylon across the field for a touchdown. The 2s went back out there, and Clark was 5 for 6. The 1 incompletion was the final play where Zach Weeks almost came up with an interception, bounced off his hands. But there was a gorgeous catch by Malachi Thomas, probably an ill-advised throw by Landon Clark, but 12 is a big receiver and went up and made a play, and that was really good to see. The final period we saw was a team period, 11-on-11. Ty Benefiel was out. Fahim Delane was in at safety. The 1s ran 6 plays. The 2s ran 6 plays. Here were the 6 plays the first team ran. Harlan Berry rush. Clark, who was running with the 1s, rolled right. Jace Brown, uncovered. Coverage bust. Nobody near him. Walk-in touchdown, about 70 yards. Clark rolls left. Hits Dylan Jones in the flat for a check down. Runs up the sideline for a big gain. Dylan Jones rush, quarterback draw, and then the final play for the 1s was a little bit of redemption for the defense, where you had Ross dropping into coverage, the Tennessee defensive end, the 5-star, Jordan Ross, at left defensive end, drops into coverage and intercepts Landon Clark. I mean, a leaping full extension. Oh, my God, that's why he was a 5-star type play. So a nice redemptive moment for the defense, and certainly feather in the cap to see that type of athleticism. Husan Longstreet went out there with the 2s. LaFleur had 2 receptions. Incredible play by J.C. Anderson, who's the freshman tight end who's 6'6". He was in traffic amid 3 defenders, and Longstreet just threw a jump ball to him and looked like this was going to be intercept, like you were just throwing chum in the water to sharks, and 87 out-jumped them all and made the reception. I'm telling you, it was a good day for the offense. And then the last play was Husan Longstreet took off running downfield, kind of got pinballed between the defenders, and that's when they called the scrimmage or the practice at that point, when the quarterback's getting pinballed by 2 players when he's wearing a gold jersey. But all that to say, this was a day where you saw everything that was the hallmark of Lane Kiffin offenses. You saw big plays downfield. You saw coverage busts. You saw running backs running free. You saw short yardage situations. We saw Deuce Gerald's, a defensive lineman, in the jumbo package take a handoff. Kiffin was asked about it after. He said, yeah, that's the downside of letting y'all watch practice. But we saw J.J. Pegues, remember a couple of years, big 300-pound defensive lineman take handoff. It's part of what Kiffin does. This was an exhale moment to say, okay, like, it's still Lane Kiffin. It's still Charlie Weiss. There's still a lot of talent. They got a long way to go. But it was the 10th practice of spring with so much new players, new coaches, new system, new terminology, new everything. And Saturday was bad. Today was much better. And they still don't have their starting quarterback out there. So it stands to reason it's going to get even better from here once you get Sam Levitt back. Good day for the offense out on the Ponderosa. Tigers are back on the practice field on Thursday. We are supposed to be able to watch the full practice again, so provided Lane keeps it open, we'll go out there. We'll tell you what we see. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Hey, all this week, it's our Purple, Gold, and Cold giveaway. Easy. Do it right now. Text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045. Text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045. 499-1045. 499-1045. Text Drink Easy to 499-1045. Somebody's going to win a case of Bud Light, a Bud Light LSU baseball jersey, some championship koozies, some ESPN swag. We're going to announce the winner at the top of hour number 3. We have a winner a day every day this week. So text Drink Easy to 225-499-1045. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, quick break. Shea Dixon back to talk some recruiting next on AFR.
AFR.
Getting up to almost 90 degrees this week, y'all. It is time, if you have not yet done it, it is time to call River City's 1 Hour Air for your preseason AC tune-up. Please don't let the summer months come without you doing this, please. I implore you. And even more important, join their membership club, because when you're part of the membership club, River City's 1 Hour Air will call you when it's time for the seasonal maintenance, and the seasonal maintenance is free. So I want to talk about the heater safety check and the AC tune-up. That's a complimentary service when you're part of their membership club. So effectively, that pays for itself. The membership club pays for itself with these checkups, and then you also get membership pricing if you ever need repairs. You get front-of-the-line service, priority scheduling. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side and call 752-0001. 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Shay's awake. Hey, what up, Shay? What up, Sleeping Beauty?
Happy Wednesday, brother.
No. It's Tuesday. You got it the right day today. It's Tuesday. All right. Shay completely missed our segment last week. Fell asleep and Woke up the next day.
I verbalized to you in person today, face to face, that it was already cringeworthy enough last week, and then you sent me clips of y'all
Yeah.
making light of it, and then you led off today's segment with it.
Well, I really enjoyed our what did we call it, Muse? The not
Dun, dun, dun.
NCIS. What's it called?
Law and Order. Law and Order LSU.
Law and Order LSU.
Dun dun dun.
If Muse was good at his job, he would have already had that ready. Muse? No, here we go. There it is. And you had one too many chungs there, Shea. Chung, not dun, dun, dun. It's 2, not 3. See?
Little case solved.
Yep,
It's 2:30. It's 3:15 on the Tuesday. Here I am.
We found you. Okay. There's actually a lot notable we have to dive into. First, Ahmad Hudson. We've talked about him a ton, but we do have news. So fill us in.
Yes. So Ahmad Hudson is the prospect out of Ruston. We've talked a lot about 5-star, number 1 tight end in the country. His dad played at LSU. We've talked about that before. Basketball for John Brady, all SEC player. Hudson it's just still crazy to think about. Rivals everywhere. ESPN doesn't matter. Even the Rivals industry rankings, Matt, still have him as a top 25 basketball prospect in the country. Right. So football's the priority. I'm very curious to see how he maybe wants to try to handle both, but that's a conversation for another day. Incredible athlete, right? So legit offers coast to coast, and said he was going to make all these visits, and then in July he would announce. Well, now he tells Rivals and Sam Spiegelman, our good friend, that, listen, I'm going to expedite things. Instead of July 1st, I will now, at some point here in the spring, towards the end of it, go ahead and announce who I'm going to commit to. And he's whittled down, I don't know, a list of however many FBS schools there are. He's narrowed it down to 2, LSU and Nebraska. And Nebraska's been on him a long time, too. So while LSU went through a coaching change, Nebraska didn't, and their basketball program's been on him. So that name the program sounds funny to go up against LSU for an in-state kid, but they've been in the mix for a while and outlasted A&M, a lot of other schools that were really heavily involved. Now, official visits to both those schools were set for June. He'll already have been committed by then. And I would have to I still do continue to feel good about this one. And as I've said many times, this would be your heir apparent to Trey'Dez Green, who you have a junior year now coming with, and then Ahmad Hudson will be a senior. And then the following year, if Trey'Dez Green chooses to go to the NFL draft and Ahmad Hudson signs with LSU, he'd be a true freshman on the football team.
Interesting. We saw J.C. Anderson today have a really nice day at practice. He's 6'6", so you're talking about these gigantic tight ends that very clearly.
J.D. LaFleur has made some nice plays, and he's massive.
Yeah, they have. It's an interesting position group because they've got options and size and depth there, no doubt. So Hudson down to his final 2. Shea, a lot of people ask, like, LSU and Nebraska, like, how is Nebraska the other team in this? How have they made it this far?
I think beyond the football staff rule and that staff and some connections they have in the player personnel department to Louisiana, how long they've been on him. Remember, J.R. Belton was the one who handed out an offer when he was like in 8th grade, going into 9th grade, because he was like, look, we got to get on this kid. Word up in North Louisiana is he's going to be that guy. And they offered then. And Nebraska was on him early. But Hoiberg, is that right? Hoiberg, who's their coach now? Yeah, Hoiberg. They've been on him heavily for basketball. Now, McMahon had offered. Obviously, Will Wade just gets here, but that's kind of what put them in there. I don't know if I can't speak to like A&M and Southern Cal and them were in this, but I don't know where he stood on Bucky's basketball board at A&M or anything like that. I do know, though, at Nebraska, the pitch is very much you can play both sports.
Okay. Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Get him at Shea Dixon. We do know another prospect who has set his announcement date, and that's wide receiver Braylon Calais. Let's fill in the deets here.
Yeah, shout out to all the Cecilia listeners out there. One of my favorite players in Louisiana in this class, and he's a top 10 kid in Louisiana, ranked as a top five athlete by Rivals, the industry rankings, in this 2027 class. So these kids we're talking about are juniors, but will be seniors in the fall and signing in December. So the current class of recruits and top 125 overall player in the country, regardless of position, and LSU likes him at receiver. And he's got a final six, is what he told Hayes Fawcett, with Rivals. But he also said the decision date's April 20th, so we're less than a week away. Much like Ahmad Hudson, that's an expedited timeline. He had scheduled out a bunch of official visits for the coming months, really, and said, look, I'm ready to shut it down. Will a Cecilia kid leave? And he's got great options all over the place. I don't think so. This is funny enough, or maybe ironically, however you want to call it. It's been an LSU Ole Miss battle, and it's a benefit to LSU. Yes, mostly that he's from Louisiana, but that now the staff that's recruiting him, George McDonald, the receivers coach, Lane, they were already recruiting him while at Ole Miss 4 months ago or whatever it was, as he played through his junior season. So he's talked about that relationship just becoming a lot stronger. And I think that kind of what tipped the scales maybe towards LSU was, at least for me, when Lane got on the road and went to Cecilia to see him in late January when the portal ended. And then simultaneously, he came back and saw the whole staff on campus. And since then, he's been on campus a handful of times. And Ole Miss, Frank Wilson, they want him badly. I can't see this one not going LSU's way right now.
All right, we'll get that word here coming up in a week, less than a week, actually. Shea, so you're going to have to explain this, but there's a new start to official visits, and that's this weekend, and LSU's got a five-star offensive lineman coming in this weekend. So you can fill us in on the new timeline and who's going to be here?
Yeah, my fill-in on that got filled in when someone else from our Oregon site texted me actually about a month ago and was like, hey, I just talked to a kid, legit five-star. He's lining up these visits, but he said he's officialing to LSU in mid-April. That can't be right. And we Google it, and the ever-changing world of college football and whatever rules the NCAA has in place evidently now allow official visits in mid-April, which was normally a May, June, July thing, which before that was a thing, remember before two signing periods, everyone took OVs in December and January because you wanted them on campus right before they signed in February. Like your biggest OV weekend sometimes was the February before signing day. So you were the last people to talk to that recruit in person before they made that signing day decision. So as all of those dominoes dropped, here we are talking about official visits in mid-April. But they are going to have a number of guys in this weekend, and I'll have the list on the Bengal Tiger. I know LSU's still trying to confirm it and put it together relative to making sure travel's booked, all of that, because oftentimes if you're getting recruited by LSU, all the top teams are after you, and you're having to shuffle visits a lot, and things come up. So that being said, they expect is hitting the double digits, which would be a lot,
Wow.
but it's going to be a lot of out-of-state guys who they've offered, who want to visit. And the headliner, no doubt, is Kennedy Brown. And for those not familiar, he's a five-star. He's playing over at Kingwood in Houston, but 6'4", 285, offensive tackle, left tackle, number 2 offensive tackle in the country, and on the Rivals industry rankings, top 10 overall player. So no matter what position, this is one of the 10 best players who is part of this 2027 cycle. Again, all the guys going into their senior year that plan to sign in December. So that's keep an eye. Look, we've talked about it, and they've only had 2 commits, right? We talked about Braylon Calais just now. I think that could be 3, but it's still behind a lot of other schools. I would say let's just wait and see how this kind of wave of officials goes. And then you get into July and all of a sudden you're caught up. But boy, this is a big one, Matt. And there aren't picks in anywhere here, like not to Texas. Oregon's all over him. No one has put their neck out quite yet and said, hey, this is where he's going. And I think it's because Kennedy Brown is knowing, hey, look, I'm the number 2 OT out there. I've got offers from everybody. I am going to go check out all my top schools and then narrow it down from there.
Shea, I want to ask you about two more 5-stars, Louisiana guys, Easton Royal and Albert Simeon. I think every time you and I talk, until those guys commit or sign, we'll probably talk about Easton Royal and Albert Simeon. But Lane Kiffin did tweet the little tiger emoji over the weekend, which typically signifies a commitment. Do we have any idea who that is, or is this just a wait and see whenever that news drops?
I wait and see, but my best guess would be that the recruit we were just talking about, who, if you're putting out all of a sudden rushing up your process and saying, I'm deciding within the next week, and we've gone a few days without knowing who committed when Lane tweets his emoji, I'm putting my money on you unless it's a shocker. So
Okay.
that'd be my guess. I will say this. I don't think it's Easton Royal now.
Okay.
But we can talk about Easton.
Yeah, let's talk about Easton Royal and about Albert Simeon, because it certainly seems like with Royal, there's been a lot of smoke and conversation about LSU pushing for Royal.
Yeah, and I think that's come out of him finally visiting, right, and spending a lot of time around the staff, multiple days here recently in the past few weeks, and has been committed. We talked about it, to Texas, and I think he committed to Texas the day before Lane Kiffin got announced. So it's one of those things where odd timing, but now LSU's made him just such a priority. And I'll give you this. So OT7 is like the big 7-on-7 event that they do for recruits now. And our national guy, Charles Power, named him the eye catcher of the weekend, and they have everybody there. And he said, look, didn't disappoint. Counted for 2 of the most impressive plays they saw all weekend. And he looks like a 5-star number 1 wide receiver. That should be no shot given as South Louisiana folks, or Louisiana folks, anyone who follows high school football. If you're at Brother Martin playing that competition and you're putting up 1,200 yards on 50 catches and 17 touchdowns as a junior in high school, you're pretty good at football. And when he gets out there and not even pads, they just said he's so much different than everybody else. And we see this happen every few years. Louisiana puts out a receiver where it's like, all right, that kid is different than everybody else, and it kind of feels like Easton Royal is that guy for this cycle. But I will say they're trending up, committed to Texas right now, but Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, like these are schools getting visits and over the past month. So if you were to say I'm 100% locked in, you wouldn't be making visits. So as he explores options, by far the biggest threat to Texas right now, and the Longhorns know it, is the in-state school, LSU. And when Lane's prioritizing him like he has, I think it takes it kind of to that next level.
And Shea, what about Albert Simeon, the big 5-star interior offensive lineman?
Super intriguing recruitment for me. LSU had been on him forever, but now you've got a new coaching staff, right? And Ole Miss isn't one of his final teams, so it wasn't. Nor is Kentucky, where the O-line coach Eric Wolford came from. So it's new relationships being put together here. And ironically, that hasn't been the case because they were recruiting a lot of Louisiana guys, and then a lot of the national guys they were recruiting at Ole Miss, they just kept recruiting here. So you kind of carry it over, but he's been really upfront about it. I mean, his quote was, I see LSU so differently, and I mean it through, and I'll quote him. He just said, understanding this new coaching staff is not just about, oh, it's a new staff. It's, I play O-line. What are y'all's techniques? What type of offense do you run? Does my style fit? Where do you like me? What is the development angle of all of this? I don't even know the strength staff until now. Like, I had known the strength staff for a couple of years through the Kelly era. So I think he's spoken more on that than a lot of recruits have. And if we asked everybody, they would go in depth about it, but happened to ask him. And I thought he gave some good insight there of just, if you're like, I'm a 5-star recruit, which I'm not, but in Louisiana, and sometimes you just think, okay, coaching change. Did you know the coaches before or not? Oh, you did? Great. Pick up where you left off. Oh, you didn't? Make a visit. Now you know them, build a relationship. But I mean, as he speaks to it, it's so much that goes into this decision beyond just where am I going to college. It's like, I'm trying to develop to the NFL. and now you've switched up your whole offensive scheme. Tell me about it. And I still like where LSU's at. He's uncommitted, but A&M is really up there, and I've said it. Like you said, we talk about him every week. Don't sleep on Notre Dame here. Marcus Freeman has made him a massive priority. So when we've asked him kind of who his lead recruiters are for those three schools, he says Lane Kiffin, Mike Elko, and Marcus Freeman. So fits the bill of a 5-star top-ranked interior offensive lineman. My lead recruiters are the people in charge of the program.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. It is never boring around LSU. It's never boring in recruiting. Big OV weekend coming up. We'll get all the deets when we visit again next Tuesday. Shea, Tuesday is when we talk on the show. So we appreciate your time.
Yeah, well, people will never know as we recorded this. This is actually Monday right now, and you're just replaying it, and I'm currently asleep.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Thank you.
Bye, Matt.
All right, we'll see you. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. At Parish, it's easy. They'll come in. They'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. If you have toxic mold, they'll get rid of it. If you maybe have an odor problem, pet, smoke, sweat, you want to get rid of it easily, affordably, cost-effectively, and more efficiently, Parish Restoration is the plan. So give them a shout, ParishRestoration.com. Homes, commercial buildings, industrial facilities, anything, ParishRestoration.com. Go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage. They'll be in touch to give you that quote, ParishRestoration.com. Okay, quick break. We'll go around the SEC. A lot of LSU football today. We will get back to more of what Lane Kiffin had to say. And we did break the news earlier today, Louisiana Sports done that. Aiden Anding, torn Achilles Saturday in the scrimmage. Lane Kiffin confirmed that, talked about the cornerback depth. We're going to get to that in about 25 minutes from right now. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Glow Resources is a home base company right here in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. As a matter of fact, Baton Rouge Business Report, their annual list of the top 100 privately owned businesses in Baton Rouge. Glow Resources made that list a year ago. No doubt they'll be on it again. I'm thrilled for Jareth Knockan and the great growth they've shown. It's so incredible to watch offices pop up all over the country, and Glow Resources do work for businesses all over the country and, quite honestly, all over the world. Well, our friends at Glow Resources, they still prioritize home. They are a Baton Rouge-based company, and if you are a business looking for skilled blue-collar labor or any type of office job, Glow Resources can help you find the right people. They're not a temp staffing agency. They're looking for permanent solutions to make your business as effective and as profitable as it can be. They love honoring their people as well. Big shout out to Gabe Chenevert, who is the Employee of the Month at Glow Resources. Check them out online, glowresources.com.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes with a basket full of chicken and a big coat.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Golden State Valkyries select Flau'jae Johnson from LSU.
Psych! Welcome back. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. As always, shout out to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. SunEquip.com, proud partner of LSU Athletics. So congrats to Flau'jae, who went 8th overall to Golden State. Looked like she was going to be heading out to the Bay Area, but that was not to be the case, because 8 picks later, when Seattle drafted Marta Suarez, they actually later then announced a trade.
The Golden State Valkyries trade the rights to Flau'jae Johnson to the Seattle Storm for the rights to Marta Suarez and their 2028 second-round pick.
So Flau'jae is not, she's still heading west. She's not going to Golden State. Instead, she's headed to Seattle. I actually loved, so Flau'jae, the Seattle Storm posted a social media video of like their fan draft watch party. And whenever they announced the trade, the Golden State, the Seattle fans in this bar sort of erupted cheering, and Flau'jae quote tweeted saying, "This makes me so happy." So a lot of people there in Seattle were excited to see the news that Flaugier, legitimate star power, head up there to the Pacific Northwest. So congrats to Flaugier. What's next? Always, look, I mean, it's a great opportunity. It's great promotion. It's great awareness, brand recognition when you have a player like Flaugier or anybody selected in a draft and to be on that kind of stage. So congrats to Flaugier. Johnson goes 8th overall, but traded from Golden State to Seattle, where she will begin her professional journey. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. You want to go celebrate being selected in the WNBA, or just because it's a day that ends in Y, you better get on by Supper Club. Tell you, man, LSU did a great job closing a lot of those recruits, taking them over to Supper Club. Try that Omi beef. Get one of the Sagrera cuts. Maybe you're not into steak. Awesome. I mean, that stinks. I feel badly for you if you're not into steak. But awesome. Try their Chilean sea bass, the Orta King salmon. It really doesn't matter what it is you want to eat when you're over there. You're going to have the best version of that you've ever had. I've told you so many times, one of my favorite things on the menu altogether is the veal parmesan. They bring that fried veal cutlet on the bone to your on the plate to your table, and they come table side with a skillet of the melted cheese and marinara and lay it over the veal chop there at the table so it stays crispy. It's just everything about Supper Club is next level. So get on by and celebrate anything, or close in business, whatever you want. Don't have a reservation tonight? No worries. Remember, Supper Club, always open seating at the bar or bar tables. Supper Club, BTR.com. Supper Club, BTR.com. Right there in Perkins near Bluebonnet. All right, it's After Further Review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Dylan Stewart did not participate in any of South Carolina's spring practices. No big deal. Third-year defensive end continuing to recover from a back injury that limited him at the end of last season. Shane Beamer was asked about it, said, quote, continue to get well. With his injury, it's one of those just needs rest right now. Same thing I told you a few weeks ago, just needs rest. So see if Dylan Stewart continues on that timetable to be ready for the fall.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Speaking of defensive ends, Tennessee's Chaz Coleman, remember him, the Penn State transfer. He's been absent from spring practices of late, and so speculation has grown, but Josh Heupel wasn't willing to provide much of an update on Coleman. Said he's dealing with some things off the field. He's got to handle and go through that process, but they're there to help him. He was the number 2 edge in the portal, the number 7 overall player.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Wide receiver Noah Rogers is going to miss the early part of the regular season due to an injury sustained in the spring game. Kalen DeBoer confirmed that news on Monday. 6'2", 201. He's a transfer from NC State. Had 68 receptions for just over 900 yards the last 2 seasons there in Raleigh. He's a 4th-year junior. They open up the season against East Carolina September 5th.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas landed its first transfer commitment. Furman forward Cooper Bowser, not to be confused with Bowser Koopa. Bowser Cooper. Bowser Cooper, right? Mario?
No, I think he's just Bowser. Yeah, I don't think he has a last name.
Bowser? Is that Bowser Cooper?
Bowser the Dragon.
Bowser didn't have a last name. It was just Bowser?
For sure it's just Bowser, yeah.
I think there's something else in there.
I'll Google it.
Like Bowser Cooper. Anyway. Cooper Bowser is 6'11", 215. If he was a 5'11" forward, he would not be playing college basketball. He's 6'11". He's a full foot taller. Koopa. Isn't it Cooper? Bowser?
His full name generally considered to be Bowser Koopa. There you go.
Hey, Muse. Child of the 80s.
Also King Bowser.
Get off me.
Or King Koopa.
You thought it was just Bowser. Tell you what, Muse, you take a couple of days off, you go get rested and relaxed.
Yeah.
Time away, you feel like, oh, I'll be refreshed, come back. And what do? You come back, challenging me on Mario as if I don't know Mario, as if I wasn't there with the original NES.
I wouldn't say challenge
Dog, I remember.
You.
Paul, did he challenge me?
I didn't sit there and say you're wrong. That's not what it is.
He challenged you.
Like I wasn't there when my dad brought home the original NES back in like 86 or 87, whatever year that was. Playing that thing, the remote with 2 buttons on it. You don't know nothing about a remote with 2 buttons. Bowser Cooper. Nailed it, by the way. Nailed it.
The Missouri Tigers.
They got a commitment from some kid from Providence. There you have it. That is around the Does anybody really care?
He didn't have a cool enough name like
Doesn't
Bowser,
matter.
like
Doesn't
Cooper
matter.
Bowser. Yeah.
Doesn't matter
We
at
couldn't
all.
do anything with him.
Doesn't matter. Kick rocks. All right, we're not going to break. Wrap up hour number 1. We'll talk some Aiden Anding in about 15 minutes from right now. Stick around.
After further review.
You know, you hear a lot of people now talking about peptides, right? And I'm fired up for that because it's becoming more mainstream, more in vogue. It's becoming more accepted. People are talking about it. And peptides are amazing. Peptides are amazing. They've been around for a long time. People are just now, I think, starting to come to understand the great health benefits that peptides can have for so many different things in your life. One thing I would like to tell you, though, is I've been telling you about peptides for years, and I take them. So you can listen to other people who talk about peptides, or you can listen to my shared experience. Like I take BPC 157. I take NAD+, have for years. I just started on Sermorelin, which is a growth hormone peptide, which helps to magnify and amplify your body's natural growth hormone production. So many different ways you could feel your best and be your healthiest. YourGoodwood.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
Yeah, Sunshine. They got farm equipment, big old combines, tractors. They also got gators, zero-turn mowers. Hopping in at Sunshine locations. They got your little portable generators as well. Great for tailgating. Get on by sunnyquip.com. Sunnyquip.com. For Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunday was the 1-year anniversary of Kyron Lacey's untimely death. And the Lacey family now has filed a lawsuit. You might have seen this. Against Louisiana State Police for civil damages for wrongful death. They cite intentional emotional distress and malicious prosecution, among other charges. They have requested a jury trial. The lawsuit reads in part, quote, the investigation was marred by numerous falsifications, fabrications, intentional misrepresentations, and misconduct designed to wrongfully attribute blame to Mr. Lacey. The lawsuit does name Trooper Tyler Werner and Sergeant Lehman Howard. First of all, I have no idea how I would react if I were the Laceys. I'm not in that situation. That's not my child. I'm not going to pretend to know what they are and have experienced over the last roughly year and 3 months. There is, and I know that as we were sort of relitigating all of this when a lot of the body cam footage came out and surveillance footage and a lot of the evidence from Attorney Ori and Attorney Matthew Ori and Kenny Lacey sat in this studio last spring and discussed a lot of this. The thing that the thing that a lot of people said was, yeah, but Kyron committed suicide. He didn't die in this wreck at the hands of the police. And that's objectively true. Is it a stretch to string together the series of events that led to his suicide and lead them back to the wreck? I don't think that's a reach. And there's so many inconsistencies in that investigation and questions about that investigation that do leave it up to a lot of interpretation and question. And the thing that I in watching all that, we did it plenty and combed over every single piece of detail and information that was released. The thing I can't get past is the trooper that did coerce the driver of the gold truck, to write in the police report a falsified statement. There's body cam footage, there's accident footage of it, of what happened in this man's testimony at the time, and it's incongruent. And I don't know that means the Lacey family deserves damages. I don't know that a jury of their peers likely will decide that. And it's not going to bring Kyron back. But Kenny Lacey sat in here and he said what's justice for him is making sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else's child. And if nothing else, if it creates more awareness around investigations, then maybe it's a good thing. It's
after further review.
As we put a button here in hour number one, remind you about Parrish Construction and Roofing. We tell you every day to do business with someone you know. That's me and Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and our whole great staff over at Parrish Construction and Roofing, commercial or residential. I want to remind you that we're here in the middle of April, so we're about a month and a half away from the start of storm season. June 1st, as we all know here, it's hurricane season. And just like we tell you about preparedness, it is so important for your roof as well. This would be an awesome time to learn about the benefits of a fortified roof. The state of Louisiana has grant programs. In many instances, when you have a fortified roof, your insurance premiums will be lowered. This will prevent a lot of damage, potentially the interior of your house, if you do suffer roof damage. Learn more. We would love to help you out at parishbuilt.com.